Hi, everybody. How are you tonight?
Great.
Great. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here and coming to find out more about BodyLogicMD. I'm excited to share it with you because, honestly, BodyLogicMD has been the best thing that has happened to my medical career. So I'll take you back around. So I'm an OBGYN by training, and I practiced OBGYN for really only a couple of years, and then I realized that it really wasn't working out that well for me. I was in practice for about 3 to 4 years, and I was in the middle of trying to make a partnership deal with the doctor that I was working with. And, she wanted a good amount of money for the practice, to buy into the practice. But what I was looking at was what a lot of us are looking at. I was looking at rising costs and declining reimbursement. And I just looked at it and I said, from a business point of view, you don't need to be a brilliant business person to look at that model and say, how the heck is this ever going to be viable? Every year our rent's going up. Every year our nurses' salaries were going up. We were paying $110,000 a year in malpractice insurance, yet the global reimbursement fee from insurance was going down every single year. And she wanted this big bunch of cash from me to buy into this practice so I felt like it wasn't really a viable money alternative. And then, of course, I was working my butt off all night doing C-sections and ectopic pregnancies, et cetera, et cetera. So I felt like something had to change from that perspective. And I was looking for a lot of other alternatives for us, looking into aesthetics and things like that. And then, luckily enough, a compounding pharmacist came into our office, started talking about bioidentical hormones. And of course, at first, like any good OBGYN would, I said, what are you talking about? That's crazy, And then luckily he was persistent. He came back and he started talking a little bit more about it and talking about the difference between progestins and progesterones. And it started to really make a lot of sense, like probably some of the revelations a lot of you are having now. And I came to an A4M event, and boy, was I just blown away by the science. It was just unbelievable. It was like, oh my God, this is how I want to practice medicine. So I started slowly but surely, as an OBGYN, I kind of had an easy route to be able to incorporate that into my practice. And I started incorporating it, and my patients started getting better and better, and it was awesome. But, some of my mentors in bioidentical hormone therapy started saying to me, you really can't do this through insurance anymore. And I was starting to realize more and more I really couldn't, because it was, taking up a lot of time, right? And insurance, they don't reimburse you for all that time that you're spending. So how can you really make a viable practice? So I realized I had to stop taking insurance, but what was I going to do? How was I going to do that? And then I wanted to move to Florida as well. I lived in New York and I wanted to move to Florida. And I said, how the heck am I going to make a practice out of nothing? And especially a practice where I don't take insurance. Enter BodyLogicMD. I met the team at BodyLogicMD, and they said, we can help you do that. And I said, nah. It sounded way too good to be true. And I think the entire first year after I signed on, I was sort of waiting for the other shoe to drop or figure out what's the catch. But what they provided was a way to do what we all want to do. How many of you just want to practice medicine and forget the business stuff, right? So many of us. That's what doctors go into medicine for. We want to help people. We want to practice medicine. We don't really want to deal with, how am I going to find the right office space? How am I going to make sure that the financials make sense? How am I going to figure out what pharmacy to use? How am I going to figure out the whole legal aspect of it? If any of you attended the legal seminar yesterday, you know that there's a lot. And if you didn't attend, you should all attend the legal seminar, because we need to do this in a way that's the proper way. Because if we don't, it hurts all of us in this industry. And we need to do it in a way that's proper. We need to do it in a way that's legal. There's a lot of people doing a lot of illegal stuff, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. And so that's some of the stuff that BodyLogicMD has done for me. Basically, they helped me find a location. They helped me do the demographics of the area, make sure that was going to work out. They gave me a business plan to follow. And most of all, though, they brought me patients. You can be the best functional medicine doctor in the entire world, and if you don't have patients, it just doesn't matter. And I'd seen way too many other doctors when I was going through my fellowship who'd said they struck out on their own and they worked their butts off and they weren't able to get more than 25 or 50 patients in their practice. So I joined BodyLogicMD, and right away I started getting 30 patients a month every month. It was unbelievable. Within 6 months I broke even. Within a year I was doing great. Within 2 years I'd basically filled my practice. And now it's 6 years later, and I've got a thriving practice. I have another doctor that works with me, an independent contractor. And so you're able to build leverage in the practice. And I own a franchise, and that franchise is building worth for me. And this is an amazing way of practicing medicine. And I'm able to really just walk in and see patients and do what I love to do and what you all love to do. So what we're seeing with BodyLogicMD, we started in 2003. We currently have 43 offices with 53 affiliated physicians in 27 states. We have a franchise license to practice in all 50 states, though. We have 16,000 active patients, and our biggest problem is we are growing really fast. And we are growing so fast that our limiting factor is going to be physician hours. We need more physicians. We need more qualified physicians. And we consider ourselves the most highly trained network because we require all of our physicians to be fellowship trained. So we require all of our physicians to take the fellowship for anti-aging medicine. We also require them to pass the boards, and we require them to be already board eligible or board certified in their own field of medicine. And it's been an amazing ride, an amazing experience. I was one of the earlier doctors in the network, and now we've grown to this large size. And it's been an amazing ride, and I am so grateful for my BodyLogicMD family out there, all of you. Thank you so much for being there, and thank you so much for all of your support. We have an amazing network, an amazing what I call my brain trust of the most amazing physicians in functional medicine that there are. And we're an incredibly tightly knit community. And I want to bring these physicians up to meet you. Dr. Robert Porzio from San Jose. He's opening a San Jose practice on January 14th, I believe he told me. So he's going to talk to you about opening a new practice. Dr. Jeff Thackeray from Fort Lauderdale, my very old pal and colleague, is going to talk to you about marketing and public relations. And Dr. CJ Crisp, if I may, CJ, is from Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas. She's going to talk to you about patient services. And Dr. Bob Gelfi from Sacramento, California, is going to talk to you about more than just bioidentical hormone therapy. And Rebecca Huey, our supplement queen extraordinaire, is going to talk to you about nutrition and supplements. And Dr. Michelle Schultz from Chicago, Naperville, Illinois, actually, OBGYN, is also going to talk to you about cash-based practice with insurance. Dr. Anita Petrozelli from Hartford, Connecticut, also another fellow OBGYN, is going to talk to you about legal support, very important. And Dr. Greg Pippert from Minneapolis, Minnesota, is going to talk to you about joining a practice.